In declarative pipeline syntax, we can have stages one after other, or we can have nested stages. We can have one stage inside another stage. All right. Obviously, those won't be directly, but inside that stage, you need to have a complete stages block, and inside that, you can have multiple stages. All right. So let us see what is sequential stage, and basically, multiple stages, if they are either one after other or maybe nested, they will be called as sequential only. Right, so let us see an example why these nested ones are also called as sequential. First of all, we'll see the basic example. So what I do is I simply create a pipeline with the agent. Maybe you can use a default agent, or in my case, I'm using this Ubuntu Node 1. So now in that we create stages, and inside that stages directive, I am creating the first stage. So for that, I'm giving the name stage 1, and I'm adding a very simple step, and I'm simply printing the message step 1, and this is how I will be adding the first stage here. Now if I want to have multiple stages, I can have I can simply copy and paste it multiple times, and just rename these as stage 2, stage 3, like this. All right, so this is how I have configured 3 stages. Now the order of execution would be same as how you have mentioned it here in the pipeline. So let us copy this script and paste it in the pipeline script, and let us run this pipeline from Jenkins and see what is the order. So we see here we are getting stage 1 executed first, and then stage 2, and then stage 3, and then execution ends. So that's why these are called sequential stages. Now these were not nested stages. Now let's say we need to have one stage inside another stage. So here we have stage 1, inside that we have steps, right? So we have mentioned only one step right now. Let's say along with this step I try to add another stage here. All right, so this would be invalid because in a stage I can have either a step or a stage or a parallel or a matrix, right? So just remember, since we have not yet covered about those things, these metrics and all, right now I'm only going to talk about step and stages. So I'm trying to add a step and a stage both together, and inside that stage I'm having a step added to print that message. So if I try to copy this and put it here in the configuration and try to run the pipeline, it should give me error. So you see it has given me error, and if I go to console logs, you are getting error here at stage inner 1, right? So basically you are not allowed to use step as well as stage together inside one stage. Now let us try to make that second stage as step. Maybe let's say instead of stage I want to add another steps block. So I simply copy paste the upper steps block, and I put it here in the pipeline script and try to run it again. Alright, so in the stage 1 we have 2 step blocks, actually not 2 steps but 2 step blocks. So if we check the logs, we see the job is again failed, and it is telling that it is failing at stage 1. Reason being that we cannot have multiple step blocks inside one stage. Alright, so one thing is clear, that we cannot have multiple stage or step blocks together. We cannot have steps multiple in one stage. So now how do we put a stage inside another stage? So for that you need to use stages directive inside the stage. So I am using stages, and inside that I put the stage which I call as inner 1. Alright, now inside that I can echo the message, but yeah, obviously I cannot put the message inside the stage directly, rather I need to use a steps block. So I copy this message and I put that inside the steps block. Okay, so now we have stage 1, we have inner stage 1, and then stage 2, and then stage 3. Now let us copy this script and put it in the Jenkins pipeline and run it and see what is the output. So we are switching to Blue Ocean view, and the fourth one run is in progress. It is now not sorting in the correct order, but yeah, the fourth one which is still running. Now it is completed. We can see here the first stage was stage 1, then we see this inner one, and then stage 2, and then stage 3. All of these are appearing in sequential order, right? This inner one is also not appearing like it ran somewhere internally, but it is appearing in sequence. So that is why I said that even if you have stages nested one inside other, they will be executed in sequence only. So that is why these are also called as sequential stages. Alright, so I hope this concept of sequential stages is now clear to you, and you will not be making mistakes of adding multiple types of blocks like step stages together or parallel blocks inside the stage and make your pipeline wrong. So just remember that thing, and I hope you will be finding this tutorial helpful. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.